So season 3 is over. Season 3 has come to an end. And what better way to summarize everything than in a recap video? Let's get into it. Hey, it's Gwendolyn, and this is a recap video for season 3 of Ladies Listen Up. I am sipping on something, but it's ginger ale. And I know, I'm certain someone's always like, she always has a cocktail in her hand. I do not. Sometimes what I am drinking is sparkling water or ginger ale. So it's not always a cocktail. It's not how I vibe. Despite the fact that I do have a really deep bar and a wine fridge full of wine, I don't drink as often as people may assume it, but I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Let's talk about what went down this season. So I was putting together season 3 and I immediately thought it may be best for me to share my story versus inviting guests to share their story. And I did invite some guests. I had one. And I kept coming back to, there are so many people out here and every single person has a story I believe should be told. Hands down. Everybody has a testimony that may very well help someone in their time of need. I don't know what the need is. I don't need to know what the need is. But we all have it. But I also thought to myself, why would anyone listen to me? Because some people share stuff, but they really haven't traveled to do anything, right? They talk about a storm that they've never experienced. And so I thought for myself, because you know, Virgo's a little funny. Everybody's a suspect until you give me reasons not to be suspicious of you. I thought, well, let me share exactly how it is that I know what I know and that I am sharing what I am sharing. Let me do that. And so that was the main focus of this season of Ladies Listen Up. It was, I'm not talking from a place of not being homeless, of not feeling financial constraints, of not believing that I am worthy of someone else's love, including my own. We have that. I have that. We are sharing all of the things so that when people hear about it, it's not just, she's just making up something. Because people have been known to steal traumas. It's bizarre, but I've seen it. So let's talk about the background, the backdrop for this season of Ladies Listen Up. So I figured if I am going to talk about my story, I wanted to have this story be framed as if the viewer is sitting with me in my home. And if they were, they would be on the sofa, they would be at the kitchen table, they would be at the dining room table. We'd be at the bar. If the weather was better, I would have loved to be outside because I like to be outside, chatting with my girlfriends or my guests, but the outdoors was kind of funny. It's been kind of funny lately. So I thought, let's not go outdoors. Maybe next season, who knows? But I wanted people to be invited and to be in my face versus, so if we're going to talk about better aging, why not be in the bathroom? If we're going to talk about drinking water, why not be in the kitchen? So this really was, hey, it's just you and I, we're vibing out, we're going through some different topics, we're just spending the day together. So why not do that in different parts of the home? Now, I had to move some things around besides dragging this camera and dragging that camera and a couple of lights. We had to move some things around, but it's doable. I mean, and I believe it was necessary. So let's get past all that. Let's get into what we talked about this season. And we'll start with episode 1 and 2, which talked about being worthy and dragging your baggage. Of hearing a message, hearing a lie that they now have to tell themselves, that's not real. I mean, hello, Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, hello. Let me jump forward. Here's the point. What we need to recognize right here today is that the state that you're in, I don't care how badly bruised you are, how broken you are, how resilient you may be, all of those things, it doesn't matter what state you're in. Understand that even in the state that you're in this moment, you are worthy and have always been. So, in my opinion, identifying someone's worth, recognizing someone's worth can be the hardest part depending on where you are in society. You know, women, Black women, we tend to get the bottom of that bucket. And I have found we tend to do so much to show someone that we are worthy of being loved because the messages being shared with us is that we are not. If anything, we are built to be someone's keeper, and that's the only thing. You're going to take care of these kids, take care of this house, take care of everybody else. And maybe, just maybe, there is something left for you that you can give to yourself. But after all of that, you're still not worthy of being loved and being cared for. And if you don't believe me, check and see how Meghan of Sussex is being treated. People hate on Meghan, not because Meghan is pretentious. Meghan came from a single family household. She was a latchkey kid, but people hate to see Meghan be happy and entertained and be loved and adored by her husband, her kids, her friends. They hate it because they are so used to seeing Black women just be, as my dear friend says, mules. And some of us take that as a badge of honor and want to walk around with it. It's not a good badge. Put that bitch back in the bag. But the other part of that is even when we get past all of that, we still drag with us some traumas. Counseling aside, I don't know if you ever really let go of it. I believe you learn to live with it and you learn to acknowledge it when it shows up. That's what I believe. I know it still exists because my behaviors tells me that it still exists, but I don't react to it. I know how to maneuver myself, but I don't know if you ever really get over it. Let's talk about that really quick. And, you just don't realize how good you have it until you don't have it. Like, I remember being on my lunch break, making these phone calls to my mama, right? I'm making these phone calls to my mother to say, hey, I don't know where I'm sleeping tonight. And at the exact same time, on this lunch break, where I'm working underemployed, right? So just a quick little idea. I was making almost $70,000 a year. And when I returned back to Texas, because they just couldn't do anything else, I was given $12.50 an hour. Now that's a big decrease, people. That's the kind of stuff that drives you into depression. So it's not just the loss of money, right? Like your salary, But so those traumas, yeah, bag lady, you're going to miss your bus. You are. Dragging all those bags like that. You're going to miss your bus. It requires healing. And it takes a lot of resilience to get up every day and say, I am going to do this for myself. I don't care about anybody else. I'm going to do it for me. And so I was blessed to have Tiana Clay come and share her story and also talk about her book, Broke But Never Broken. Check it.
But it really helped me go through dealing with my traumas the way I needed to deal with them. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize too that a lot of my traumas affected my current relationship as well. And in order for me to be the wife and the mother that I needed to be, I knew that I had to start dealing with those traumas. If not, it was not going to be healthy. I was not going to have a healthy relationship with my wife. I wasn't going to have a healthy relationship with my children. And so I knew that I had to do that. And the book is what actually helped me through that. To be honest, it really put me back in another deep depression after I wrote the book.
Yeah.
Because it brought back a lot of those memories and all of the bad things that I went through. And then I had to realize that that's not.
So we're healing, and that takes time. Takes a lot of time, right? Marathons, not sprints. But now that we've recognized it, we have gotten ourselves a therapist or a counselor. Now we have to rewrite the story and be our best self-advocate. That's where a lot of this comes from. Let's talk about that episode. Before you bring it, and I know in the beginning it can be hard to determine if this person is just here to dump. And then they go missing for 6 months and then they show up again when it's time to dump again. But you'll pick up the patterns if you choose to pick up the patterns. If we choose to pick up the patterns, they do reveal themselves. But we need those healthy boundaries. Say yes to you first, and then if you have anything left, I will give you what I have to give. That's fine. What else does it do when you become your best self-advocate? Well, it definitely boosts the confidence. Yes, it will boost the confidence and your self-esteem. I believe that's a given. I think it comes with, just by nature. Now, as much as I like talking about how we can grow, I also want to talk about being present at the end of the day. I love aging. Aging means I'm not dead yet. Aging means I got one more day to get up and get it right and impact somebody else. So thank God for aging. I don't want to anti-age. We need to better age. Again, society makes it seem like it's awful for you to get wrinkles and to go through perimenopause and to just no, that's a blessing. And so the remainder of the season was focused on taking care of yourself, getting your finances in order, and also it looked at the people you surround yourself with. So let's take a look at better aging. Like, why not? All right, let's get serious. So there are people who have told women for years to be something that they're not. You know? And we see it in the movies, we see it in TV shows, that you can be the guy and you can have the gray hair and you're a silver fox. But if you're the woman with the gray, or you're older, they want to push you out and put young Sally Sue in. It's ridiculous. But ask yourself again, why would we be afraid of getting older? So today we're going to talk about the one thing, okay, not one. We're going to give you five ways to better aging. Now, as I said, when I was homeless and underemployed, the finances got funny. They got funny. No doubt about it. But there is a way to get out of the hole, and that's going to take time as well. But you ask yourself, what do you want more? Do I want to be financially stable, or do I want this bag? Now, that bag ain't going to bring you nothing. Okay? If you have to ask me, it's not going to do nothing for you. So let's take a quick look at financial planning. Our head in terms of spending way beyond my means. And if I may, the American society loves to tell its citizens to just simply finance our dreams. You rarely hear of stories, advice even, where people tell you just use cash. Now, I'm going to back it up a little bit. I am old school, so I recall the envelope method, where you wrote down each area of your life on an envelope, which is all part of your budgeting, right? So you're looking at, I have rent or mortgage, I may have an auto loan, I have groceries, there may be like a credit card payment or something here, and you put money into each of those envelopes, and that's what you had to spend. So if you put aside $100 to spend on groceries, that's all you spent. That is it. And once it's empty, you're like, okay. Yeah, troubling times, I know. And I had never been close to having my car repoed, but I just thought, I was like, well, if you miss a payment, do they come and get it? And they're like, no, they don't come get it the first time you miss a payment. You got to miss a couple of payments. And I thought, oh, so everybody's done this but me? Okay. What can I tell you? You don't know what you don't know. What you don't know. But luckily, I never got the car repoed, and I paid it off, and we have now paid off 2 of our cars. I've only ever owned 2 cars, but what can I tell you? If I buy something else, the next thing I buy, I want to pay for it with cash. So we shall see how that works out. I have no desire to get any kind of loan, but that's my next big thing that I want to do. Is that hefty? You damn right it is, but I'm committed to that. So in regards to net worth, talk about the people you surround yourself with, because your network is your net worth. Think about the people you hang around. Are they making deposits or withdrawals? Let's look at it. People. But if you're going to the cookout and all you're bringing is a plate, multiple plates to just stack up so you can eat later, you're missing out. And you also tend to not get invited because you're not bringing any dishes. You're not trying to help serve somebody. Like, you're not helping someone else eat. So you can stay at home. But that's not networking. Beneficial, reciprocal relationships where you can be of service to another person. So let's get to the point, because we know that somewhere in there, as we talked about it, there's this self-doubt that I don't have anything to offer. The people in this room are well above me. Oy vey. Yeah, check your top 5. Think about the top 5 people that you hang around on a consistent basis or talk to, and ask yourself if you've been growing since they've been in your life, or are you standing still or going the other direction? If you don't get the answer that you really want to get, and if the study has shown that it's not going the way you want to go and you're standing still, you might want to shake that up. At the end of the day, though, I wanted to end the season with an attitude of gratitude and to show people that despite all of this stuff, this is where I have landed. And it is an attitude of gratitude, so much so that I have these favorite pair of jeans. Well, okay, well, I did because they're gone now, but let's look at it. It is still there. I have gone through my fair share of storms. I don't even believe that we are done with them, because that's just life, right? You have your ups, you have your downs, but through it all, I am grateful. And as I mentioned, I looked at my life and said, okay, Gwendolyn, you're doing the things, you're here, you're there. And with one decision that I made, consciously made, everything fell. Like the bottom fell out of the basket. And I found myself in situations I would have never dreamed of. And I thought to myself, how did I get here? And how do I get out of this? I had mentioned I considered suicide. I did consider it. And when I really stopped and thought about it, I was like, and what does that solve exactly? Like how does that impact your family, your friends, your loved ones? Like, why would you? Season 3 was something special. And season 4 is going to be the same. Now, season 4 is slightly different. I mean, I'm going to give you guys a quick clip, because we love to do a quick clip. A quick clip of what's coming. But season 4, the tone is more of a coaching tone. Now, I was a career coach back in the day. I still do career coaching now. And there comes a time where we need to put some things into action versus just talking about it. Here is your sneak peek. Is that? What does trying look like? Now, let me just give you my interpretation, because I'm with Master Yoda. You either gonna do this or you not gonna do it. There is no in between. Think about baking a cake. Do you kind of bake a cake, or do you bake the cake? Do you stop, get all the ingredients for your cake, mix it all up together, put it in for the required time, and get a cake? Or are we just throwing something in and tossing it in, and you're thinking like, okay, well, I guess 15 minutes or whatever. Is that what we're doing? Are you kind of going to work? It's either I'm going to get in my car and get dressed. Well, hopefully you should get dressed before you get in your car. But I'm going to get dressed, get in my car, and go halfway to work, and then just... Okay. It's been a great 3 seasons. I want to thank everybody for rocking with me this far and checking out all that we have created. Yes, me, myself, and I. We have created. Season 4 promises to get into a lot of nitty-gritty. I'm happy with it, extremely proud of it. So I hope, no, I'm not going to hope, because that's not a strategy. I'm inviting all of you to be prepared for something amazing that's coming in terms of season 4. And if you haven't already, you got to get on the GRH Jack email list. I don't email something every single day. It's like maybe once or twice a month. But this is that time to surround yourself with some really great people and to continue to feed the person in you that needs those positive messages that's not just BSing you. Okay? So until then, see you.